I remember when you won that Oscar. I remember you getting up on the stage, and by the time you get to the actual winning of it, are you sort of numb from the, were you glad you won it after all those years of making those films? Were you?
Oh, yeah, it's of course.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I think it's the other people that are potential recipients of it that are numb, because everybody, you know, has been giving X-ray thoughts and kiboshes on the other people as they get closer until eventually, you know, your name isn't called, and then I don't know what that feeling is, but I'm afraid I'm going to experience it again pretty soon.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, not being called.
Oh, not being.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wonder if it hadn't been your name, do you think you might have started to rise in your seat anyway? There have been cases of that, I'm told, at the Oscar ceremonies, where people have thought they heard their name and gotten up and then had to pretend that they were trying to do something else, spot a friend across the room or something.
No, Rod Stiger was sitting behind me because he was nominated that same year, and he since won one, as you all know.
Yeah.
So I could tell the story, because I saw him and I said, "What are you doing here?" And he just looked at me. And I said, "Well, if I see you heading down there, buddy, you know, you're going to have to get over me." And fortunately, we didn't have to prove that test.
Yeah. You're bigger than Rod Stiger.
No, not really.
No, actually, he's bigger than you are.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I knew I would get that sifted out if we kept at it for a while. Why were you not appreciated before 1966?
I thought I was.
Well, I liked you, and all my friends did. But, yeah, I remember you in those really intense kind of some semi-psychotic roles that you would play. But then suddenly everything changed in 1966, and all the people who'd been saying, what had they been saying by that time?
Well, I wasn't really aware, because I got a clipping service once for $15 a copy, whatever that is, you know, for a newspaper ad. Or not ad, but a statement. And so they'd send out statements, and about 800 papers would carry it. So they'd send me the 800 copies, and it was $15 a shot, so I never read my reviews after that, you know.
That's a service that will clip anything said about you all over the country.
Right, but they charge you by each little clip. And so it just got too expensive with my lack of income, so I didn't bother to read anymore.
You mean if 500 papers say the same thing about you, they send you 500 copies and charge you for 500 of them?
Right.
It's a wonderful business.
It was, until I found out that's not the way it works, but I'd already paid the bill, so that, you know. Yeah. I don't know, it's not really important.
Yeah. Is there any way you can give anybody a formula or a secret to playing a bad guy on the screen?
Well, I don't think there's a secret to it. I simply know that I just do what I'd hate to have somebody do to me. You know, that's pretty generally what, you know, what offends you, and I think the most heavies are offensive, or should be, or else they're not doing their job, so what wouldn't I want somebody to do to me? That's what I do to the other guy.
On the screen?
Yeah, right, for the approach.
That's interesting. So you think about the kinds of things that have bugged you the most about people, or things that were a man's behavior has offended you, and you use that.
Yeah.
So you're actually using other people's faults, not your own.
I mean, I wouldn't dare expose my fault, would I?
I don't know. What is your fault?
Well, I'm glad you got the singular. I don't know what it is. I'm still looking for it.
Yeah. That would be a nice feeling. What would be examples of offensive conduct on the part of other people that you've used in a role?
Well, I couldn't recall offhand, because I think that they're probably so minute. You know, as a guy goes to put the cigarette out in an ashtray or something, just move it, you know. Then he's got to come up, you know.
Wait a minute, a guy goes to put a cigarette out.
Yeah.
You move the ashtray
Right.
so that he can't reach it.
Well, no, you can reach it, but it's just that he's already, and you just go. Well, like if you were reading that, looking for your next commercial, and I went like that, I mean, boom.
That would be an annoying thing.
Yes, I think it would.
And the next time I played a rat, I would use you as my inspiration.
No, I don't think you'd play a rat.
Oh, really, Mr. Marvin?
That's right.
Yeah. You don't think I could play a rat? Is that?
I didn't say you couldn't. I said I don't think you would. I think you're far too, a part of all of it, the good parts included. Yeah. And to be a rat, you know, that excludes all the good parts.
So that you and I are very different.
Well, for your sake, hopefully.
I've always sort of thought of myself as a Lee Marvin type, and that I actually
not 24 hours a day.
I don't know what that would entail. That leads me to something, though, if this is what you mean by that. Do you get this thing all the time that we talked about this once a little bit, but that Bogart always got because he was known as a tough guy on the screen, and in a bar, guys would, to impress their dates, say, watch this, and hey, Marvin, are you tough on the screen? Are you tough here? Do you get that?
No, I've never had that, really. No, I've never had a problem, being chosen because of that. I don't think I project that in person. And I guess if I go into a bar where, that type of thing is going on, then I just watch my step and don't give them any provocation for it. See, because I'll tell you how that works. Actually, in most of my films when I was the heavy or a rat or whatever you want to call it, I didn't win the girl.
Right.
So, bang, they nailed me in the end, right? I got shot running down an alley. But I think the actors that have that problem, such as the Bogart image, etc., what happened is that they always ended up with the girl. So that's why the provocation of offstage, the guy says, hey, you're pretty tough, huh? Let's see it.
But they don't envy you because you didn't win the girl.
That's
so
right,
many
I'm
times.
a loser.
Yeah. Gee, I hope that doesn't hold true in life for you.
Well, I don't think I can talk about that here, can I?
I'd be interested in hearing about it.
I'm sure a lot of people would be.
You gave a very candid interview one time in Playboy magazine where you talked a great deal about yourself. I wonder, when you look back at a thing like that some years later, have your ideas changed? Are you ever sorry you said any of those things?
Oh, well, I think that you're sorry you say everything almost. Because I'm sure that, given a second time through or something, I could probably do it better. Because we'd learn by our experience, but I'm not going to waste time worrying about that either. I'm not going to say I said it and I'm glad. I say, is it true that you said it? I say, yeah. They say, how do you feel about that now? I said, well, we have to pursue it. And I said it then. I don't have to say it again.
So you don't like to repeat yourself? Do you
I
find
prefer not to.
interviewing generally kind of irritating, the fact that you do what you do up on the screen and to have to sit and talk for hours on end about yourself for a long interview is irritating?
No, it depends on the interviewer. I think that, I probably talk more about myself when I'm not being interviewed. But in order to maintain that semblance of the true modesty that I do on the screen, when I get interviewed, I become very modest. Oh, is that true? So
that's right. I never thought of that, but you do. When you're interviewed, you think, can't they please get off the subject of me? But then when other subjects are being talked about, one works the subject around to oneself.
Yeah.
I don't do that, but a lot of people do, I know. I'm glad to hear that you do it,
It's been my experience. That's been my experience working with other stars,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You talked in that article about being in the Marines, and you talked about a search for your masculinity. That was a phrase that came up in the article. I would think your masculinity would be quite easy to find from knowing you as I do.
We weren't going to talk about my private life now.
I won't be responsible for the kind of laughter I'm getting from the audience, but and I never am. But what is that about?
Oh, I don't know. I think that all kids go through it, and I was a child when I enlisted, Yeah. And, my only history really was the motion pictures or what I'd seen as a kid in New York. So I'm going to go up to the, with the sword or whatever it was that, all the famous actors used to wear in those Triple E pictures. The harems of women, and I hope, and, it's just, that's a very silly thing to even think about right now, I guess. Masculinity is what it is.
Yeah. Did you find that in the Marines there were a lot of guys who had gone in because they had some kind of hang-up like that? That's a favorite image of any
this was during the war, and there was a very common effort, see, so the effort was the only thing then. I'm not aware of anything else but that at that time. Now, in peacetime or something, I imagine it's a wholly different discussion. Yeah. But when we were going down on the train from New York, everybody was just, wanted to be John Wayne, which was exactly what it was all about then.
Yeah. What did they think of John Wayne movies the guys who were actually in action the way you were in the Marines during the war. What was your opinion of the war movies that you saw? Like
Well,
Sands
most of
Iwo
our
Jima?
training was almost doing them, you know, because with a national effort like that, the motion picture companies kind of join in and say, yes, now we can utilize all those free extras out there, the Marine Corps or the Army and the Navy. So they make war films to get the war effort brought to the audience, because there wasn't too much TV then, right? So that you were part of it in the training aspect. I mean, they'd say, well, they have a motion picture company coming in tomorrow, be a couple of phony actors in there, trying to get us to be, and then you'd be part of the scene. So.
So you were part of
your
duty was to be in war movies.
Almost in your training, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't make it far though. I mean, I didn't get involved in any.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of guys that did.
But did the combat seem real to guys who actually knew what it was like in those movies with John Wayne and all?
Oh, well, combat's a very personal thing. I don't think two people will agree on anything in combat, so I think for the theatrical audience, they were doing the best they could at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wanted to see a newsreel, of true death and destruction, so it's much better to do it theatrically, which is less painful.
Yeah. Do you ever have any? Last time you were here, you had just been in I can't remember if you had just been or were just about to be in The Dirty Dozen, and a lot of people thought that was a movie that glorified violence, so that it shouldn't have been shown. Does that criticism irritate you ever?
No, I don't really consider that part of the film much of the film. I thought the whole film was basically the 12 guys and their training and the examination of them. Once we got into the actual effort of making the jump into the palace or whatever it was, I mean, that's just following out the footwork, I think, of why they were trained, why you could enjoy the front part of the film.
But you didn't think that the film was a bad influence on
what?
the people who who get their kicks from seeing. Well, I'm mixing up two questions here. Do you think a movie can be a bad influence because it has people cheering, say, the gassing of Germans or the murdering of...
I'm sure it can be both ways. It can be a good influence, a bad influence, or an indifferent influence.
Yeah.
But that's not my job, or it wasn't my job at that time to ascertain whether this would be a great influence on not pouring gasoline on German generals. I wasn't really concerned about that. I was concerned about working with Jimmy Brown or Johnny Cassavetes or the rest of that marvelous group of actors.
Did you ever get hurt making a film?
Not really. I mean, not enough to where it would be where I could collect any unemployment on it.
Have you been emotionally hurt in the making of the film?
Oh, I'm struck right.
Could I ask you where you were wounded during the war?
Yes, I was shot in the ass.
Could...
That's unusual.
I hate a guest who won't be specific. I
wish I could say something else, because I know that when I finally got home, I had written my mother saying that I'd been injured, so don't be disturbed by the telegram. And she wrote me back a letter and said that she had a dream roughly at the same time. There I was standing in the door of her bedroom, in the doorway, and I was in my dress blues and my head was bandaged. And I said, yes, she's my mother. How sweet of her, right?
Bandages were somewhat lower in reality.
Yeah, and I didn't have a set of blues. I mean, I was,
Right. Gee. That's terrific.